Just wanted to do a quick pop-up live. I haven't done a live stream in a hot minute, and wanted to remind everyone that it is winter. If you're not already experiencing it, somewhere in the US or Canada, Canada's been experiencing winter for a minute now. You're more than likely going to experience it pretty damn soon. I'll do a more in-depth video this evening about the winter weather, but there are a lot of alerts from Oklahoma all the way into the Northeast. There have already been traffic accidents. Hey Don, hey Teresa, hey KP. Traffic accidents that have involved over a dozen vehicles in a few places. Mr. Scott, good to see y'all. Be careful on the roads, especially if people in your area, like in Texas, are not used to driving in ice and snow. I don't think Texas is getting snow, sleet, or ice this week. We might next week, but basically everyone from like Arkansas all the way to Maine are just getting clobbered right now. Hudson Valley had reported hey Bad Bobber, Hudson Valley had reported he had 8 inches, 12 inches of snowfall overnight. So it's a lot of precipitation. Some places they're reporting that the ground is still warm, so the precipitation comes down, it melts, and hey coffee, it melts, and then at night it freezes, and then more snow falls on top, and what you wind up with is this shitty winter lasagna of ice, sleet, snow, more ice, and your tires can't grab traction, and you wind up spinning out and having accidents and all sorts of shit. So plan your trips, be careful. Like I said, this evening I'm gonna do a video. I was gonna do something else, and when I saw those reports, I thought it was just a good idea we need to talk about that. I myself need to pull my generator. I meant to do it a couple of months ago and I got sidetracked. So I'm gonna pull the generator, make sure it has fuel, run it, make sure it turns on. If nothing else, I could use it to charge the jackeries. So I could use the jackeries in the house and not have to use their generator the whole time. Basically transferring energy from one device to the other. But check your cars, check your houses, bring the pets in. You guys know the drill. Like I said, this evening I'll have another video up. But folks, today, I went and I did my annual physical, and while I was there, I was talking to this LVPN. It's like a physician's assistant. She was normally my doctor, and then the doc came in for a little bit and went over the health stuff. And I had good news, right? I lost weight, cholesterol went down, triglycerides went down, like all the stuff that they tell us, hey, don't do this. I changed my diet a few months ago. I changed the way I work out. And, I got good news. It's like, yeah, everything's going in the right direction. We'll meet again later on. Hide your kids, hide your wife. I remember that one. Oh, God, that lady was funny. Or was it a man? I don't remember what it was. Oh, who got held for review? Oh, yeah, no, you know what? That guy can go to... he can go to Shabalba for the rest of the year. Anyway, yeah, we've what was the big rubber glove? Was the guy with the big rubber glove gentle, please? No, I didn't get that today. I have to do the butt camera thing next year, though, the colonoscopy, which is always fun. But I'm sitting there and they're talking to me about, dietary changes, shit like that. And I started thinking, and I know a few other channels have brought this up, and this is probably a good time to bring it up. We wait until New Year's to do New Year's resolution, right? We wait until the end of the year to say, oh, I'm going to do better next year, but then we make resolutions we can't keep. We should, every day, you guys should be thinking along the lines of, how can I be better? How can I be healthier? How can I stay well? So the RN today, as she went over my blood work, told me something that was very interesting. She said, you know, at this facility, at our clinic, we have some people who are well into their 80s. And they have one med, maybe two. And at that point, you're in your 80s, it's probably genetics. You just won the genetic lottery and you got high blood pressure, or you got high cholesterol, or something like that. She said, but then I have guys in their 30s, men and women, both in their 35-ish range. She said, they're young and they're on 4 or 5 meds. And they still have high blood pressure. They're still struggling. And she said, I've been telling them, the 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds we see that are doing well are on one med because they live life differently. And I asked her, I was like, well, what are they doing? She's like, eating garbage, drinking too much, basically dumb things. She said, it's not you don't go out for a beer, go out for a beer. What the hell? I mean, we're social creatures. Go have a drink, go have some wine. But there's a line between enjoying yourself and having a good life and being stupid. And she said that line is blurred with younger people lately. She said, I'm seeing 25-year-olds on blood pressure meds. And I'm like, 25-year-olds, like a 25-year-old? She's like, no, I'm seeing a lot of them. Obesity, eating garbage, stuff like that. I do not. Members of my family type and cholesterol, I do not. It's not genetic, it's what you eat. Neil, yeah. Well, that's where she was going with the conversation. It's like, just because you're genetically predisposed to high blood pressure, say, or cholesterol, or whatever it is, that doesn't doom you to that fate. You can go and live a healthier life. There's no guarantees, right? Life is life. But if you know, oh, wow, diabetes runs in my family, and you make the effort to eat healthy and you go for the walks and you do the weightlifting or whatever it is they recommend you do, well, shit. That what you're doing is, just because you have that genetic marker doesn't mean that's how you have to live. You can choose to live better and not antagonize your genetics. She said, a lot of these people, they tell me, oh, high blood pressure exists in my family. Hey, Hudson, what's going on? Good to see you. But just because you have those genetic trends in your family doesn't mean it's your fate. You can live a better life. And, she said it could be small things, cut sodas, go for a walk every evening after dinner. She said the needle doesn't have to move a lot to improve one's life. And I just wanted to throw that out there to everyone because, we're getting to the end of the year and I already hear neighbors and friends are like, oh, hey, Lucky Dame, good to see you, hun. Long time no see. You see people and they'll be like, well, it runs in my family. Yeah, but you smoke 2 packs a day, you eat garbage, and you drink too much. Well, you've just doomed yourself, and your genetics are just playing along with the way you live. You can try to live differently. There's no guarantees, but why make it worse? And we're at the end of the year. We're trying to, a lot of people are looking forward to 2026, how we want to do things. And all the channels, we're talking about, food and inflation and, politics and all the other fun stuff that goes on in the world. But we don't stop often enough and talk about our day-to-day. Like, are you taking the time to go for those walks? Are you taking the time to relax, read? Do you sleep well? Do you drink too much coffee? Those little things. I know a person in my family who went and, a relative who did that. What's that thing? Hey, Bruce, what's that thing that you do your blood work, I guess 24andMe or whatever the hell it's called, that DNA thing where you can look at all your genetics and they can tell you what you're predisposed for. And that person saw that they had a history of, or they had a genetic marker for liver disease. And one of their aunts had passed away from liver disease, who, by the way, was a very obese woman, ate a lot of fried stuff, and she, you know, she passed away. And this person said, you know, I was really upset about that. And I said, oh, so what are you doing? Nothing. If that's what it is what it is. And now that person is 30 pounds overweight or 40 pounds overweight. And they'll go up the stairs and they're huffing and puffing and they smoke. And I'm like, you know, you have this in your genetic line. We can't change that, right? That's luck of the draw. It is what it is. But there's no reason you can't live a little bit better, right? Have a little red wine, lay off the whiskey, right? You know, it's a little supposed to be healthier for you, you know. Hey, don't give up the pasta, just eat a little salad next to the pot. You know, these little things. Go for a walk in the evening, take your dog out. If your dog's super overweight, probably you are too. Go for a walk with your dog. Go fight your dog. I don't know, do something. And they're like, nah. And now they have health issues and they're having struggles. This person's now having health issues. Mind you, this individual has not hit 35 yet. I have another coworker. He didn't want to move out to this part of Texas. You know, it's a cute little city, but we're in the middle of nowhere. And he got, you know, he's got to be, if he's 40. And great guy, nice guy. One day he just doesn't look good. I'm like, bro, are you okay? You got the flu? You got the Rona? You know, I'm picking on him. And he looks at me and goes, no, but my blood pressure's too high. I got to get better meds. And as he's talking to me, I find out he goes out almost every night, which is fine. You know, we have clients and business partners we go out with, but there's, you know, you could kind of moderate. Most people would get it. Guy had gained 35 pounds, 40 pounds in 3 years. And he's eating garbage all the time. And I'm like, you know, don't get the burger, get a salad, dude. Like, go for a walk. No, the walks won't help. And that's the most dangerous thing, I think, is that fatalistic worldview. Like, oh, well, it just sucks. So I'm not going to do anything. And the person I am, I can't compute that. And truthfully, folks, look, if you know diabetes, blood pressure, I'm not a doctor, so not health, this is just personal advice. If you know you have diabetes or blood pressure, liver disease, whatever the hell it is that runs in the family, you can choose to live your life differently so you don't antagonize those genetic markers. And what the nurse and the doctor told me this morning was really interesting. And I mean, I was happy. They said, look, you know your dad had high blood pressure. Your dad was also a 4-pack-a-day smoker. You don't smoke, right? You go to the gym, you eat healthy, and look at your numbers and remember what your dad went through. And my dad and I are, at our age, are totally different places. And they said there's no guarantee, right? We could, bad luck, you get cancer, right? Who the hell knew? But there's no reason you can't. Hey, Dominic, welcome. And anyone in the chat, I don't have my glasses and the words are really small. B Sizzle, 8 Sizzle, I can't see what it is. Nurture versus nature, right. Just because nature gave you a certain basket of pros and cons, you can live a lifestyle where you minimize the chance of the bad stuff happening and maximize the good stuff. But you control that. I control it. You know, we control our own destiny in that respect. So don't wait till New Year's to make a resolution that, oh, I'm going to go walking. I'm going to go eat better. And you don't have to move the needle a lot. Everything I've done this year have been small needle moves, replacing certain pastas with different types of grains, stuff like that. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Neil. Neil, you probably need big type 2. You probably have your font huge on your phone like I do. He's laughing now too. I know, I can hear your laugh, Neil. But hey, Gerald, what's going on? We'll be in the air tomorrow wondering about solar storm interference with aircraft controls. Okay, so that's actually something I can talk to a little bit, Gerald. Going off the subject of taking care of yourself, most aircraft, commercial aircraft, are rated to take lightning strikes and continue to fly. That being said, other things like communications, tracking, etc., may cause a problem. And so am I worried that a plane would come crashing down from a solar event like a Carrington event? Some might. I think a lot of them are reinforced for that kind of contingency because, again, they got to get rated to take lightning hits. But does that mean it won't delay airports, screw up computers, satellite comms? No. So I would think I'm not as worried about the planes in the air. I'm more worried about coordination on the ground screwing up travel. And especially now we're still trying to catch up with the air traffic controllers. I'm suspecting we're going to have some wicked delays. Plus this weather that just rolled in, we could have wicked delays. Who's lying? That's fine. Bye. Anywho, yeah, I don't know. Jasmine Sanchez was having a mental health crisis. So Jasmine, go get some therapy. But anyway, folks, look, redirect yourself, do positive things, regardless if your family has a history of whatever. You can move the needle, and it doesn't take a lot. What it does take is to be consistent. So don't wait until New Year's to do positive changes. If you walk away with anything from my video today, terror attack threat window opens in around 2 weeks. Yeah, and you know what? Do some usually around the holidays, they like to make threats, and sometimes they do. I was in top chat. Coffee's like, what's going on? Be the best you can. Yeah, no, absolutely, Neil. But in any case, folks, look, if you travel this week into next week, we're going to have weird weather the next two weeks. Plan your trips. Like I said, this afternoon I'll have a video. I'll go more in depth into the things I like to look for. Plan your trips. Let people know where you're going. Have an alternate route, because if there's a wreck on the highway, you don't want to be behind it, stuck in your car. Remember what happened a few years ago on I-95? People coming from Florida in beach clothes got caught in a blizzard because they didn't check the weather. So starting Thanksgiving, I started to watch how much I eat. And you know what? That's one of the biggest ones, Farmer. When I was sitting with the nurse, she had told me, and the doctor, while I was doing my physical, they were like, we as Americans, Western world in general, eat a lot of garbage. And we also eat things we think are healthy that really are not healthy. They sneak a lot of stuff in on us. I have video clips of me going through Costco. I have to put it together and looking at the ingredients of organic, and some of that's not very organic. It's not good for you. So folks, plan your time. It's just been cold rain here. Hey, John's life, barely above freezing and rain. Yeah, the cold rain sucks. I do agree. Bring down their pride. Yeah. Make burritos great again. Okay, so burrito recipe for you. If you want to do it healthy, switch to corn tortillas instead of flour, although a good burrito needs a flour tortilla. Ground turkey instead of ground beef. Use the McCormick seasoning or make your own. Saute the meat, then roll it. If you want to throw beans, it depends if you're doing more the Southwest, like the Arizona style or the Texas style, because there's a big debate about chili and beans and whatnot. But anyway, and I like to put a little bit of chili in there. It's almost like an enchilada mixed with a burrito, but it will put you to sleep. But it has high protein, and if you use the turkey, way less fat. So just something you could play with there. I should do a burrito live. I do cooking live streams. I should do one of those. From January, I dropped 50 bacon, egg, cheese. I'll drop 50. So JD, it sounds like you kind of did almost like a keto or carnivore type diet, because that's almost the way I'm going right now. I've gone to that chickpea and lentil pasta because I love pasta, because I grew up with the Italians, and they're not bad, but you got to get used to them, and there's certain sauces. That's interesting, though. Yeah, no. Ground beef is way healthier and dense than turkey. Eat the fat. So yeah, and it depends how you want to approach it. Like I'll use the ground beef. I actually strain off the fat and use it in other stuff like gravy, but that's just me. Um, oh, hey, winners win. Nice to meet you too. Welcome. So, folks, yeah, do little things. The little things you do every day, taking that walk, eating less quantity, like one of the folks pointed out just now, eating less quantity, snacking when you're hungry, just being mindful of those little things. It doesn't mean you can't have a rum and coke every now and then. It doesn't mean you can't have a nice whiskey or have a glass of wine, but moderation. Oh, we had another troll. Ooh, coffee, you were on that fast. And Trav, wait, what was the weirdo? Oh, another retard. Okay, watch this. Let's see. We will remove that, and I'll put you in timeout forever. Enjoy that. And you'll be in. Yes, drink lots of water is great as well. So, man, the trolls are really dumb. Like what they're saying is so stupid. It's just random insults. I wonder if it's just automated, like this computer made a bunch of YouTube profiles. Because you're talking about health and they go in there, I hate the president. We're not even talking about him. What? This just, yeah. Hey, Texas Psychobilly, what's going on? But folks, look, Liquid IV are worth it for daily hydration. Winners win. I actually keep some because I work out in the desert, basically. I keep the little packs so I can throw them in my water bottle. I don't use them often because they do have high sodium. But if I'm out in the field, right, we'll have cases of water. We don't always have Gatorade or Gatorade powder, so I keep some in my truck because when you're in a very low humidity and either high heat or very dry, cold environment, and you're outside, you will dehydrate way faster than you think. And so I do keep some of those just in case I'm feeling wonky, but that's me. Far from automated, my filter is out for repairs the last day. Redmond's real salt and a pinch in your water. Yeah, I use Himalayan salt in a lot of my, the pink salt in my cooking. And it actually has a different flavor. It's not just salty, like it has a good essence to it. I can't quite describe it, but that's my environment in Florida. See, you're gonna be in an environment, you have high humidity and you sweat a lot. And you don't wanna get to where you're cramping. Because that's a sign you're almost bordering on heat exhaustion. It doesn't hurt to have those. Hello from frozen tundra of Iowa. Is frozen, yeah, I can imagine. All right, folks, well, I got to head to a meeting. I just wanted to jump on real quick and remind everyone, hey, it's never too late or too soon to do positive things in your life. Yeah, and John's life, yeah, if you're very high heat, you will need the extra sodium. We've actually had a lot of guys fall out on work sites in the heat. They drank water, but they did not eat and they did not get electrolytes, and that screwed them up. They overhydrated, so that's a thing. You got to kind of balance that out. But anyway, folks, look, you guys be good, be safe, be careful out there. And just remember, it's never too late. I had really good news with my doctor's visit today. Very positive stuff. But it got me thinking when we were talking back and forth that just because your family history or your genetics say something's going to be a problem, you can live a life to reduce that risk almost to zero. It's never gone. And that's a good thing. So folks, those of you who are new, thank you for joining me. I will try to do another cooking live stream. I do believe being able to cook with what you prep as a prepper really makes sense. And remember, preparedness is not just for the zombie apocalypse. You get laid off, someone gets sick, God forbid someone gets in a car wreck, you just had an SHTF for your family right then and there. That's why we prep, so we have some options for a little bit of peace of mind when times get hard. You guys be good, be safe out there. It was a pleasure seeing all the new faces and all my regulars. And be careful, be good.